excuse me, there was a post that Chuck D reposted on IG. There's a guy named, I'm gonna give him his credit, Mr. Mars Today is his profile on Twitter. He's listed as a singer, songwriter, producer out of LA. And Chuck D reposted this post, which I think is
Posted the post of the
post. Yeah, I think this is good. He says social media has artists effed up because it takes time to create amazing art. Sometimes a lot of time. And the way the algorithms work for you, you can't really take time off and expect continued engagement. This is driving people to be more release driven than development driven. He's basically speaking to the microwave generation where it's content, product. You know, that loses some of the creativity or some of the quality. It's a lot of C material getting put out over and over again versus, you know, sitting and cooking a type quality product like Kendrick Lamar would, or maybe a J. Cole. I'm just using them as my opinion for examples. But when you read that, Jay Brookins, how do you feel about that? Is he on to something? Because there could be a devil's advocate point to this as well. But I want to see what you think.
Kind of. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. Like, there's some people that can get away with that. I feel like Frank Ocean can get away with that. Beyonce can get away with that. There's some people that can do it, but it's a little bit different for like your average independent artist, right? So like you're caught in the muck, and this is something I feel like that we've already passed the threshold. This is not going to stop. People aren't going to slow down their releases. This is going to get worse and worse it's going to keep happening until it turns into something else, right? Because that's just how hip hop is. It's like, oh, I don't like when people use, you know, hi-hats in their beats, you know what I mean? Like, okay, and then we're going to have like 10 years of that before we find something else, you know, and
808s.
Yeah, 808s, and it goes a different way.
We're in the no drums era right now.
Yeah, like, so I understand what he's saying, but I mean, we're past the point of this even being something we can do about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh, matter of fact, everyone wants to it's more release driven. We're not at quality music. Like, music is not even the main focus anymore.
Right.
I mean, am I lying?
No, you're not.
I feel like that.
No,
I feel bad saying that, but like, I don't think anybody even cares about music anymore.
Yeah.
Jump in there, Lone.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I feel like a broken record for saying this, but I've had this conversation with students and also just on the show and just, you know, in general. But you have to tie music with content. You have to. Like, in moving forward, it like Brookins just said, like, we've already passed the threshold. Like, you know, if you're not known, if you're not Beyonce, if you're not Jay-Z, if you're not Kanye West, if you're not somebody that has a huge established fan base that is looking for your content where you're sharing pictures of your kids, you know, and they can get hype of anything off of that you're doing,
right?
Then you have to marry your music with your content. You have to find out clever ways to do this. Now, I don't think that you have to go to the extent that you were talking about, Mike, in the sense of...
What you mean?
Well, you're like, well, you have to put out C-level content. You have to do all this stuff. I think it's a different approach. I think it's the approach of...
let me clarify. I'm not saying they knowingly put out C-level quality content. I'm saying that's what tends to come out when you rush and put out projects back to back. That's what I was saying. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I understand that. I guess what I'm saying is the approach has switched or flipped a little bit. And I think the plan is just, you have to do kind of like what Russ did.
Yeah.
In the sense of Russ put out a song every week for an entire year. This is years ago, right?
Yeah, I think
but he had all of his songs already done.
Yeah.
So it's the same ideas we've always had with making music. You finish the product and then you promote the product. It's just, I feel like now it's super easy to just get kind of caught up with it because it feels like it's all over the place. But I would just say, create your content, create a system that's going to distribute your content through the next period of time that you are going to be creating. So let's say I work right now for 12 weeks and making a whole bunch of music for the next year.
Right.
Cool. I'll schedule that to go out in the next year, however I do that. And then in that next year, when that content's coming out, I can share pictures of stuff that I'm doing online. I can share cool stuff of whatever I'm doing, blah, 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 while I have a regular release schedule. Simultaneously, that whole 12 months, I'm working on new music.
Let me ask you this, Lone. I want to follow up.
That's just one suggestion.
Sure. But I want to follow up to what we're talking about, and just to see what you think. And then, you know, Jay and J, actually, y'all can chime in. As it relates to putting out the product and the quality, you know, the quality is always going to be subjective. We know that. It's all opinion based. But do you think there are artists that are below the artists that you named that have shown the ability to consistently put out products?
Yes.
within X amount of time frame. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the part I was saying that might be the devil's advocate, because there are people that can churn out that good product.
Yeah, it's not even like Pat Jr. Shouts to Pat Jr.
Shout out to Pat Jr.
Jr. is somebody who puts out exceptional content. He's
Agreed.
super personable on the stuff that he releases. And his music's really good. He just understands how to do that. Yeah, I mean, Odyssey is one. Even though he hasn't put stuff up, he's been sharing pictures of his children, his kids. You know, he's been having kids. He hasn't had time, but now he's getting ready to go back on tour. He's somebody.
I have no doubt the quality when he comes out.
But even if you're an artist that isn't known, I've been following artists on TikTok that don't have big followings at all, but they're being super consistent with distributing. They're being extremely intentional about how they are putting. They'll have one song, but they'll have 90 different videos for that one song.
And that keeps you engaged.
Because we're living in, especially the way the algorithms work, at least right now.
Right.
On the two best platforms to be on, which is YouTube Shorts and TikTok.
Right.
You can argue Instagram Reels, but I'm not convinced. But that's here nor there, right? But on those two platforms, it's a throw it out into the world approach to get as many people as possible to latch on. So it's like we can put out, just like we do with our show, we can put out one video here that'll pop off with 100,000 views. The next one will get 500 views.
Yeah.
Right. But the point is that it has the potential to reach that many people every single time. Whereas on Instagram, typically speaking, and Facebook and stuff like that, it's just the people that already follow you.
Gotcha.
So we're in a different type of space to where you have the potential every single time. If you have one really good song, if you chop it up into 90 different cool video formats that you're going to share over 3 months, one a day or something, who knows, maybe one of those is going to pop, and that's going to bring in 20 people one day, or then maybe the other day it brings in none.
Breathing life into that, extending the life of that record.
It's the same thing as what Tyler, the Creative, was recently talking about. Like, yo, I'm still promoting my album a year later. Yeah. You know, it's
that hit me when he said that.
But the difference between Tyler and everybody else is Tyler has budgets. He has money. He can do that. He has a name. True. So you just have to adapt that mindset. It's the same exact mindset it's always been. It's just the technology is changing realistically.
I can dig that. Jay, jump in. Lone's got the comment there for you just in case, but what you think about it, man?
These things happen in cycles. You know, there was a time in the 60s and 70s where a group like the Temptations might put 2 albums out, maybe 3 in 1 year.
True.
You know, because, hey, the competition was heavy. We had to get after it.
Yeah.
You know, and we're at that place right now. Everybody who has a computer basically has a record company. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And
a phone.
Yeah, a phone. You know, there are people who literally have gotten hot. Hit Kid and the young lady 𝗀𝗲𝗄 from Memphis. Like, she recorded that song and shot the video the same day. And there is no question, as somebody who's, you know, out and in the clubs, that was the song of the summer. FNF was the song of the summer. There's no reason to try to debate it.
Yeah.
That was the song of the summer. And like I said, she shot the video and you could tell, like, that was shot on a phone, maybe.
But it didn't matter, though.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Because, like, when you have something that the people want,
she struck a chord, man.
You know, sometimes sometimes you can't buy that kind of movement and that kind of attention. You know, because
and it's cost efficient.
You know, so here it is. She shot and she'd done stuff before. She had regional stuff, but for this to be as big a hit in Indianapolis as it is in Memphis and St. Louis, Chicago, LA, New York, Chicago. I think I mentioned Chicago twice. It is what it is. Shout to Chicago.
It's a big place.
Yeah, West Side and South Side, all good.
You know,
I see.
Side.
Yeah.
Side.
So,
cut it out, Lone. Cut it out.
So it really is a situation to where you can talk about, oh, they got to put out so much content, and they got to. Everybody's putting out so much content right now. If you are not constantly working, you're going to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And you know what? And the thing is, people can say, oh, well, you know, it dilutes what is happening. There's always been music that was diluting what was happening.
True.
Like we talk about the 90s, there was a lot of stuff in the 90s that we don't talk about now because it wasn't any good.
Well, I mean, we did last week.
Yeah.
You know,
we talked about a lot of stuff.
We talked about last week. You know, and the
Shouts to the biscuit guy.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The Joker, the Bales Bob.
Yeah, I mean, like,
don't do that.
But this is the thing. Like, you think, oh, it's just now that people have been
people.
getting record contracts for no reason. 𝗏𝗏 Jackson has several albums out there, you know, for whatever reason.
Why you say it like that?
Because she has no business putting out records.
That's what I be talking about, man. That's what I be. How are you going to tell me one of Joe Jackson's children does not have any business to put records out? Come on, man.
Look, Joe Jackson got 7 of his kids into the rock and roll.
So
into,
you're right.
Into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I didn't want to do it,
but he's
I
got 9 kids. All of them couldn't go.
Okay, all right.
But,
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, okay, when we talked about last week when that list of, you know, the 50 wackest rappers, but we know who they are. I was able to name people who had no business ever even recording. When I talked about Ho Frat Ho and Too Big MC, and Biscuit got a record contract because he was the New Kids on the Block's bodyguard, and they gave him a record contract.
Hey man, good for him.
Shout out to Biscuit. I hope he got
so
right.
Don't talk about. And this is when you have a record contract and put out a single and a video was costing big money.
Oh yeah.
I hope his paperwork was right because that's a good look.
Probably not, but you know,
I don't wish that on that man.
I don't wish that on anybody. But I'm just saying, like, it's competitive. It was competitive then. It's competitive now. And you have to adapt to what the competitive marketplace is.
For sure.
And I think also you just have to be smart about how you move and how you, which has always been a thing, really. You've always had to be smart with how you move. It's just now it's ever changing. Everything's super techno. Honestly, I think now if you're going to start as an artist, I feel like I could actually do a pretty good job of guiding somebody to do all the things that I messed up when I was an artist. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm getting frustrated because
you know what I mean? Like,
I ain't gonna derail again. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I wish I had the knowledge that I had now when I started, rather than just throwing stuff at the wall and just
hoping something stuck.
Yeah, for sure. But now it's being consistent and being smart and planning, and you know, like, there are content systems in place. You can literally schedule a lot of these posts to go out. You can spend 4 hours on your content. Well, you have to make the content too. There's that. But you can spend 4 hours and then it's scheduled for the next 30 days or something.
Listen, man, I've been telling y'all, just give my man alone, man. He has the keys to success if you want to sit down and listen.
Do you have a channel where you just give out game?
I do, but I haven't posted anything on it in a long time, just because I don't have any time to.
Mm-hmm.
This man should get paid for the knowledge that he's learned throughout the course of running a label for this long and a website for this long.
Some people's whole platforms is just nuggets of knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
You definitely onto something. I know you know how to move in this digital realm. You know what I'm saying? Especially like on TikTok, maybe some 30 to 60 second game nuggets, bro.
But I think he should get the paper for the jewel.
But again, that's Jay's point. That's how you generate it.
Get him in there.
So I mean, so I could go even further into that.
I'm biased. I'm biased because I know the game you got. I'm biased. So leave me out of it. I'm biased.
Just think about we talk about people generating all this content, especially if you're talking about music. Who does that really benefit? You know, because once again, what was it? The guy who runs Spotify was like, these artists need to put out more music, so I have more stuff to generate. To traffic to my particular.
That's right.
He was dead serious when he said that.
But it's like I'm trying to do this for me and for the art.
So now we're going to talk about capitalism. I mean, that's cool.
We actually on the next topic we're about to talk about that. Nice.
No, but I mean,
think about
it. They need people to continue. They need people to make YouTube videos every day. They need people to put out new albums every Friday or Tuesday or however they're trying to schedule it. If the creators stop that, then it's like, why am I going to these apps now?
Yeah,
everything about these apps and these platforms is driven by people continually creating content. And if somebody's like, I'm gonna do like, back in the day when Michael Jackson would take 3, 4, maybe 5 years between albums.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we're not doing that.
No, you can't. But the thing is, you can. You just have to set yourself up in a way to where you're able to do that. That's the only thing. Right. Like, I agree. We're in that situation. I feel like a lot of people coming into this probably feel super overwhelmed. Like, I can only imagine being a new artist. Like coming out, and it is super hard. But you just have to take a breath and you have to just grind it.
It went from mailing CDs in and trying to get a meeting to trying to appeal to the masses through my phone and whatever I have in my room.
And what's crazy, I don't even consider myself like this big media person or anything, but I do have Bringing Down the Band, and I still get emails, and I haven't checked a submission in 2 years.
That's petty.
I just don't have time.
I know you don't.
But my thing is, it's like
petty. That's about mental health.
No, it really it is actually. But
he's right, low key.
But the thing is about that is like early on, I remember being hungry artist. Like, man, I want these people to listen to my stuff and want it. Now I'm sitting here like, I don't have the capacity to listen to your stuff or even. So it's like,
imagine you work at Atlantic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine this is like, I mean, it's different if you're getting paid to do it, I guess, but it's
I'm assuming working at one of these labels is like, okay, let me go to YouTube and see who has the most views and figure out if they really are who they say they are. And then we're going to throw them a deal and we'll get busy.
But this is the thing, like people are so hungry. Look, I remember working in radio and my man Rec One, shout out to him. He would handle the local music submissions.
Oh wow.
And do you know people would get on the phone, like he would get on the phone and be like, man, come on, I'm not trying to go back to jail. Like that was their sales pitch for listening to the CD. And
man, I'm in my mama house, man. Come on, man.
But this was crazy. This is back in the day where, like, maybe if you could generate a local hit, you could maybe somebody from one of these companies would come take interest in it.
It's changed though now because the guy and
but the records would always be so bad.
But I'm coming to you, Jay. It's changed now because the dude that's staying in mama house or the dude that just got out. It's like now he can start an Instagram page and reach America if he work hard enough. He couldn't back then when he was calling into y'all. It's like, yo, I need you in order for me to get to where I want to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
not back in jail.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead.
Okay,
Jay.
He mentioned DJ Rec One, and I got an apology from Mr. Rec One because I sent him a spicy email when he was doing the local.
Did you curse?
The local joint. I said some wild stuff, bro. I had no clue what I was talking about.
You cursed, didn't you?
Why don't y'all play local records? Blah 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 blah. And like he hit me back and like gave me some game and was like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. Please stop talking to me. And like I got nothing but respect for the guy. But I remember being a hot-headed young hip hop person trying to come up in Indianapolis and being too thirsty for my own good. Back in the day. Shout out to Rec One, man. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's all right. We appreciate you.
I made so many mistakes.
Better late than never, man.
We all
did. There's nobody teaching us this stuff. It's just like we're
back
out here.
to what we were talking about with you, man. There's this lack of knowledge, bro. Like there's still people in 2022 that are putting their links in comments. Comment sections. It's like I thought we got rid of that back in 2000.
No, we didn't.
Somebody tried to sell me a CD 2 weeks ago.
Bruh.
Are you serious?
Sell me a CD.
Yeah.
Let me ask. Just because that's our era. We come from that. Please tell me it was at least.
It was a burnt CD, man.
No. It was long stupid. Please tell me it was in a jewel case and it had some sort of cover on it, or was it handwritten?
No, it had.
That's what I want to know.
Like the paper sleeves.
Okay.
And
what was it? Was it written? Was there artwork, or was it just written?
Man, he was trying to sell me a CD at the gas station, and it's just
Was it gas station Jason?
Look, you gotta understand. And
Hey, there's some people that still rock with them CDs, bro.
That's
I ain't
very
gonna say
true.
no names, man.
That's
no.
super
I'm
true.
not. I'm not denying that by any means.
Get you one of them.
And he didn't know who. And I'm not trying to say I'm anybody, but he didn't know who I was as far as like.
He didn't check your resume.
Right.
No, and because it's like
You had chicken?
No. What are you talking about?
I'm just asking because we talking about chicken. You might have had a box of chicken with you. I didn't know.
No, there was no chicken involved. This is not that. But like when it's like when I'm in the club and people are like, man, I just want to get my record played, and they got a CD, or they're like.
That's the top of the mountain for them.
And it's like,
you're the gatekeeper, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, but I said, man, do you realize computers don't even have CD drives on them anymore?
You're right.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing on here.
Yeah, or the thing is, this was crazy because it's shout out to Brother to the Night because he's better than me. Because some guy came and of course we took a little payment, but to play the record. But at the same time, it's like, damn, you were able to download or email it, but it's not even tagged correctly. I'm looking at the screen, I see the name of the song, but
what is it, unknown
bounce down file?
Yeah, you don't even have it to where I could,
Mix
if I wanted
7, 8,
to
9.
shout you out because you did break bread. I can't do that because your artist name is not in, so I can read it on Serato.
Shout out to Desktop 1435 in the building. We see you.
Yeah.
in this time, right
But when
now,
I give people that game, most of the time they don't want to listen.
yeah, bro, you should not be clueless in today's age, right?
There's no excuse
so
for it.
much information out there. You can literally find out how to do anything. You can find out how to cheat the TikTok algorithm. You can find out how to do all these things if you just search hard enough. So, hey, word to y'all out there that want to do something, digitally and online. Just go do your research. Someone has done it and they're selling it to you. Selling it to you. You can learn everything.
And the thing is, a lot of times they're just selling it to you via TikTok follow or a YouTube monetization.
Absolutely.
So it's out there.
Lone has embarrassed me enough to know that his response is always, I say, man, I'm trying to figure this out. And he's like, go look it up.
Yeah.
And I sit back in my chair and I'm like,
it stings, but
and I come back the next week and I'm like, yo, I got what you sent me, but I still can't. He's like, go to YouTube and look it up. And I'm like,
I found out how to replace
Literally
the
what I
fuel
would
pump on a
Yep.
car.
Me
I
too.
just need to look it up. I just,
Changed my water pump
That's right,
on
man.
YouTube.
I found out how to, just stuff I wasn't even trying to do. Like I found out how to play Nintendo games on my Xbox One.
Look, I
thought you
locked
was gonna say, like,
myself
the
out of
violin
my
or something.
house. Literally had my phone and said, oh man, in 20 seconds, I learned how to break back into my house to get my keys. I'm dead serious. I was in and out and then gone
I believe you.
in less than a minute
I believe you.
using a credit
Can
card.
you send me that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Jay out here, hey,
I locked myself out of my garage door the other day. I had to knock the handle off. I didn't have the patience.
As long as
we don't want
it's not
we don't want the feds on us.
as long as it's
Jay
not
Brook.
like a deadbolt. If it's just a regular, I got you.
Oh, you out here now?
I
Look, but I'm just
YouTube, man.
Okay, the point
That's that
young
white
people,
privilege, boy.
The point,
That's that white privilege.
Yeah,
100%.
young people. The point is, before you get into just vandalism and skullduggery, is we want you to know that don't be afraid to ask, and if you don't know the person to ask Google.
Yeah.
And you'll
Spend some time with it. I'm telling you.
instead of just going out here and just doing stuff to do stuff.
I do have a series. It's called Be a Better Artist. I just haven't had a lot of time to actually do anything
Don't
with
be
it.
dropping jewels, man. I'm telling you.
But a podcast I would very much suggest, and we've already mentioned it, is it's like Get the Cheat Code.
Yeah.
Follow them. If
Was
you're
that the name of it?
I think it's the Cheat Code or Get the Cheat Code. Follow them on like Instagram or definitely TikTok. They share gems. It's a dope podcast. If you're in the music industry, I would absolutely suggest following them. Plus, they've been in it for a long time. They got lots of good jewels.